Hi, welcome back to a new Geek Lunch Meet. I'm your host, Chris. What's been going on this week? It's been a beautiful week, lots of sunshine in the UK, and I got my second COVID jab, so all fully vaccinated, and luckily no side effects at all this time, which was great. So yeah, everyone, if you get your appointment, just go and get it done. Didn't hurt a bit, didn't hardly feel it. So no side effects at all. So yeah, that was all good. Right, this week, Indy 5 is starting filming, so all the big news is going to be coming in. They're filming up at Bamburgh Castle up north, Northumberland, I think it is. Starting to get some spy pictures and things appearing on the internet, and it looks like everything up there. There's some tanks and motorbikes and anti-aircraft guns and things like that. It's all very interesting because it's all been kitted out in Nazi regalia. So obviously the film is assumed to take place in the 1960s, as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was in the sort of late 50s. It makes perfect sense. Now, obviously, Nazis were all done and dusted by then. So, is this going to fit in with, say, the rumours that were reported before that they've cast a younger Indy and they're going to be de-aging him? Now, obviously, we thought that was to do with the Fountain of Youth, which has been rumoured to be part of the plot. Now, it could be that this is for the sort of cold openings they do. Obviously, they had Last Crusade, and we had River Phoenix playing the young Indy. This may be for one of those type of situations where they're going to show Indy back, maybe in the 1930s, something like that, with the Nazis around, and maybe they're de-aging him for that, just for the beginning bit. Don't know. Interesting to see what's going to happen there. Also, because some of the plot, another website has said, there only seems to be the one website, everyone else has picked up on it, but I can certainly sort of trace it back to one site. So how accurate is I don't know. Is that they're talking story now, possibly, obviously because it's set in the 1960s, this is to do with the space race between Russia and America. How Indy would fit into that, I don't know. There's talk that Mads Mikkelsen still might be playing a Nazi-type character. Obviously, the Americans, there was a project where they did try to use some of the sort of Nazi scientists for their own purposes after the war. That could be linked in. Also, it's been reported Karen Allen, who plays obviously the on-again, off-again Marion Ravenwood love interest, she's coming to the UK for one of the big Comic-Cons right in the middle of filming. Could be a coincidence, but it would make perfect sense. Obviously, if this is set in the 60s and it's after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, he married Marion at the end of the film. So there's I mean, why wouldn't she be in it in some capacity? Be interesting to see. I can't see Sheila Buff turning up as Mutt, so I assume they'll somehow either ignore that completely or write that way. But I mean, there's a sort of history with Indiana Jones of just sort of ignoring these things. Obviously, you had obviously after Raiders, and he was obviously with Marion. Then Temple of Doom, which is a lot, it still surprises me to this day. A lot of people don't seem to realise it's a prequel and it's actually set before Raiders. So obviously then he was with Willie Scott, and Short Round was with them. That was just sort of taken on board. And then obviously if you get to Raiders after that, obviously they've just disappeared. And then obviously you go into Last Crusade, and they had just got rid of Marion again. And there was a sort of love interest with Elsa, obviously turning out to be a Nazi conspirator. And then obviously they bring Marion back in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So you would think she would be at least showing up. I'm gonna say she's going to be in the UK for one of the Comic-Cons. So yeah, that's I can easily see her making an appearance. But yeah, I reckon lots of big news will be coming up. Obviously, I think they did something. It appears they actually sort of started filming last night, possibly. I don't think the main cast were there, but Harrison Ford has been spotted wandering around near the studios in Pinewood. So, it's the 40th anniversary of Raiders being released. I think it's in about 2 weeks' time. I think it's the official 40th anniversary. So it makes me wonder, they'll be into filming by then. Will they release the title and maybe a teaser poster, or even just the title and some images of them on the set? It'll be interesting to see, but yes, definitely should be loads of Indy 5 stuff coming out, which will obviously bring you other news this week. Donnie Yen has signed up for John Wick 4 with Keanu Reeves. I'm not convinced we need a John Wick 4, but I did enjoy the first three, and if Donnie Yen's going to be in it, I absolutely love Donnie Yen. He's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, he's Ip Man, loads of different martial arts films, and obviously he was in Rogue One as well as Chirrut Imwe. So yeah, I love his style. He's always fantastic in everything he's in. So yeah, if they want to do another John Wick and just have Keanu shooting hundreds of people with Donnie Yen along for the ride, with just fighting, punching anyone that comes his way, absolutely. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes of that. Also this week they announced Netflix have cancelled Jupiter's Legacy after only one season. It only just sort of went on there a few weeks ago. I finally watched it all this week, which is just absolutely typical. Just one episode to go, and then they announced, yeah, we're not renewing that, which is a shame. It's not got great reviews online. It's sort of mixed. Some people loved it, some people haven't. A lot of people that haven't. It appears to be if you've read the original comic. I think people moaning about the changes. I haven't read the comics yet, so but I will do now because it really intrigued me. The story is a shame. It's a bit like The Boys, but not as violent. It's more of a slow build. There's a bit like this stuff like Watchmen, Umbrella Academy, Invincible. A lot of these sort of modern takes on superheroes, sort of being dysfunctional families and things like that. But I quite enjoyed it. It is quite a slow build. There's a lot of flashbacks to sort of 1920s, 1930s when you see how they get their powers. I think that's probably put a lot of people off as well, and I happen to like that. Obviously, being a massive Indiana Jones fan, I like that whole time period. I like the pulp adventure stuff. I would have been quite happy watching a whole season of them back in the 20s and 30s, traveling to this mysterious island and getting these powers. So it's a shame it ends on a cliffhanger, but yeah, just let you know, if you're thinking of watching Jupiter's Legacy, it is only one season. As I say, there is a cliffhanger ending, and you won't be getting any more. So yeah, that's a shame. Also, what else have I watched? I also watched Raya and the Last Dragon on Disney Plus. That went on there a couple of months ago. If you pay extra for the Premier Access, whatever it's like 20 quid to watch it. I didn't. I waited. It dropped for free on Friday. Yeah, I'm glad I waited. It looks fantastic. The animation is beautiful. You'd expect nothing less from Disney. It does look really good, but it's quite bland. It's very sort of by the book. It's nothing you haven't seen before. It's not one of Disney's greatest movies. Kids will probably enjoy it, although there are reviews of kids being bored by it. It doesn't have any songs, so that's obviously plus or minus depending on what your point of view is on that. I don't mind them. I quite if they're done well. It's got the storyline is you've got this sort of this world, Kamandra, I think it's called. It's sort of a very stylized sort of Asian influenced place, and this gem is fragmented, and the Raya has to get the parts of it together to bring back the dragons and stop the bad guys, etc., etc. Nothing we've not seen before. It also played out very much like a computer game. The whole going to get these individual parts of this gem and putting them back together by traveling to the different worlds. You even get these total cards come up telling you if she's in Talon or Heart, or in these various different places are based on the shape of the dragon. Yeah, and it's just mediocre. It's bland. It's funny in places, but then there are characters that Raya meets along the way who instantly forgettable. Even as I watched it last night, I couldn't really tell you any of their names, to be honest. And then there's just a strange. You can't argue with the whole moral, as obviously these things usually have, of sort of learning to trust people. But you sort of think after being stabbed in the back, sort of almost literally by your enemy, sort of time and time again. And then you're just meant to somehow suddenly trust them at the end, and everyone's all lives happily ever after, and everyone's gets redeemed, even though you sort of think, well, I don't know, perhaps someone should have got their comeuppance. But yes, that's Raya and the Last Dragon. It's on Disney Plus, so if you've got Disney Plus and you're paying for it, then it's a no-brainer. If you've got kids, obviously, give it a go. Just don't go in expecting it's no Moana, it's no Coco, Soul. None of those, which is a shame. It looks beautiful, but yeah, don't go in expecting too much. So that's about it for news this week. So next week, Loki drops on Wednesday on Disney Plus, which looks absolutely fantastic. The trailers look great. We've reported on them before. Obviously, we've got Loki after the Endgame, where the variant of him that was there, obviously back in the past, gets the Tesseract and disappears. It looks like there's a time variances and all sorts of strange time travel shenanigans going on, obviously with different multiple paths in time, going different ways. Tom Hiddleston's always great. Owen Wilson I love as well. And yeah, it looks a lot more in keeping with WandaVision than it does with Falcon Winter Soldier. So it looks far more out there. And apparently they've said it's got sort of big ramifications across the whole the MCU, and presumably maybe fitting in with obviously got Doctor Strange and the Madness of the Multiverse. So fitting in with that maybe. So it'd be interesting to see. So that's on Wednesday that drops. So that should be good. And the other thing is Lego Masters is a series that's been on E4 here in the UK. I think it might have been on in the States already. A competition where they're making things out of Lego. But this week's episode is going to be a Star Wars special where they're making replicating scenes from the different Star Wars films. It's a great show. Will Arnett hosts it, who obviously is Lego Batman and Job in Arrested Development, who is hilarious in it. He's fantastic. The models they make out of Lego are absolutely superb. It's just a really good, wholesome show. And they're doing a Star Wars special, which will be on next Sunday on E4 here in the UK. It was on Tuesday for some reason, and now they've suddenly changed it to Sundays on Sunday mornings. I think it is about 8:40. Don't know why, but yes, a Star Wars special next week. So that's my recommendation as well. So until next week, enjoy the sunshine if you're in the UK, or which hopefully is staying with us, I think, for the rest of the week. Take care. Get your vaccines if you get offered them. And until next time, eat geek and be merry.